like all flooring, you do want to get that product in the home or in the business, wherever you're installing. Make sure the product gets in, gets acclimated, and you're ready to install. So on your subfloor, on the floor you're going to be laying this down, everything needs to be swept clean, needs to be level.
Take a straight edge,
Okay.
put it at different areas of the room to determine the flatness of the floor.
Needs to be relatively smooth. You need to get any cracks out, fill cracks in, highs and low spots, make sure you've taken care of all those.
Determine how many planks width-wise it's going to take so that when we get to that end, we have at least a half of a plank.
Well, I see.
This is 6 inches.
You don't want to wind up with 1 inch or a half inch at the end.
Right.
Because that's screwy.
Right. So
Now,
measure your
what if your measurement makes it look like that's going to happen? Do you cut 1 1/2
start.
here?
Yeah, you make this one smaller so you get bigger down there.
Okay.
At least 2 inches or wider on a 6-inch plank.
All right.
Okay. You can go from left to right or right to left on this.
Okay.
And what we're doing, because this floor has to be anchored in by the perimeter,
Right.
is butting to the baseboard.
Up against walls, you do have to fit it all the way to the wall in all directions. There is no 3/8 inch gap for expansion like we have with a typical floating floor. That's it. You're laying the planks on the ground completely loose.
And that is just as easy as putting the material to the baseboard and then butt joining each product or each plank after that. Where it butts the wall, it butts the end joint. The last piece in the row, since there is not a tongue and groove on this,
Right.
you line it up in the next row, take a speed square and your razor knife, score it once, pick it up and snap it, turn it around so you're putting your factory edge to factory edge,
Okay.
place it, and now it's touching the wall. So these, all the way down, are held in by the side walls and the end wall.
Head in there. That's up there. That's up there, and then you've got factory and over here. The cut goes up against the baseboard.
Then on this one, you can turn around and start on this row and go back that way. Reverse direction. You want to achieve a stagger between this end joint and this end joint of 6 inches or greater.
You've got your stagger right there.
Right.
Okay. I'm guessing you're not just going to lay another full plank down and have this little zigzag going all the way down the floor.
Exactly. You want to create a random stagger. So in this case, I'm going to cut a board that's going to come in within 6 inches of this plank.
Okay.
That will offset a new stagger.
Comes apart. Just rips apart.
Now we just show that it goes from wall to wall and it's locked in where it can't move.
As you can see, now that the floor is touching wall to wall, we're able to see that the seams do not open up as we walk across the floor. It's actually anchored in with the baseboards all the way around. No glue was used in this installation.
It's just not doing a thing.
The patterns on the boards, of course, like any other vinyl plank or laminate floor, there's only going to be 6 to 8 patterns in a series. If you don't like the way one of the pieces looks, it's so easy to take the board out, flip it the other way. Look how easy this is to to put together and put down.
The beauty of this floor is when a piece becomes damaged to the point that a board needs to be replaced, it's easy to take a razor knife, lifting the material directly off the floor, take the board from any part of the room, the center of the room if necessary, completely out and replace it with a full plank.
This is so easy to do. It is a complete do-it-yourself job. You score it, you snap it, that's how you make the cuts, but it's incredibly thick, very easy to work with, very easy to install.
When you're floating the floor
Right.
and it snaps together, it can't touch the vertical surface.
Can't touch the wall.
Right.
Or any vertical surface.
So it's not being held in by the vertical surface.
Right.
This has to be held in by a vertical surface
Right.
or anchored with adhesive.
Okay.
This particular example is held in by the vertical surface.
The baseboard. Right.
What we're getting ready to show you, let's go in here. This scenario with no baseboard, you see how high it is above the ground?
Right, sure, it's raised up, so the
No
floor will go under it.
baseboard, no drywall to butt against because it's irregular underneath there.
Okay.
We're gonna have to adhere the first row
To the floor itself.
to the floor,
Put on the floor or the plank?
on the floor.
Now, is that just flat or is that,
Small notch, and it will say on the bucket what size notch to use.
okay.
It's almost gonna have to go clear, so we're gonna have about 10 minutes.
This glue, is it about where you want it to be?
Yeah.
Now, Sean, how have you determined exactly where you're laying the plank?
Well, on this particular start, I dry laid the planks out to run parallel to the drywall seam,
Okay.
knowing that that would keep me straight to the other end of this wall.
Okay.
If necessary, on a long run, you probably want to set a chalk line down
Okay.
to keep it straight on the wall. Once that material hits that adhesive, it does not slide any longer. That
Okay.
is now anchored, and that's what we're trying to achieve, is the floor to be anchored in the starting row.
Because it can't be anchored to the wall in this case.
Exactly. This material has already set up, and we're unable to lift this off the floor without actually prying a screwdriver underneath it. That material is already set up. That way, from now on, when we start pushing our material to this setup or first row, we have a nice solid beam to push against, and that locks in this free-floating floor. Now we will go ahead and glue all the rest of the walls. The manufacturer recommends, when adhering just the perimeter, to use a 4 to 6 inch band of adhesive. You can go larger than that, but a 4 to 6 inch band would be sufficient with this size of plank. Just around the perimeter of the room. And once that material becomes tacky, we can continue laying the rest of our floor. Now that we have the adhesive spread around the perimeter, the manufacturer also recommends to put a adhesive band down the center of the room or at every 10-foot intervals, depending on how big the room is. That gives you added support when keeping the material from sliding left to right or from front to back. It will not hurt the application to do this in any case, either doing it with the adhesive or doing it with 6-inch Gecko double face premium tape.
But if you're doing the loose lay where you're boarding up against the wall, it's not required.
It's not required, but it will not hurt. And this is going perpendicular to the way we are laying our planks. That will give us added strength and keep the material from sliding when you don't have anything around the edges to lock this in. The adhesive's doing it around the edges and in the center.
Now, for someone who has a much larger room, are they gonna wanna go ahead and lay the whole stripe, or should they do it in segments based on?
I would do it in segments, as much as you can lay and you work up to it, then spread another band of adhesive, give it about 20 minutes to get tacky and continue laying. Now that our adhesive is set up to a level that it's going to be tacky and the tiles will, or the planks will actually stay in place when we lay them in, we can continue laying the planks in the room. Being that this product doesn't have any tongue and groove, the only thing holding this together is the adhesive band around the edge, and at every 10-foot interval, and if we had a real strong double-faced tape, we could do the same thing in this room also.
You have a nice flat wall or baseboard to go up against, or you have glue around the perimeter of the room. That's essential, right?
Yes, to keep the material from sliding and the seams and the gaps opening up.
Right, and then what you can do, but you don't have to do, is the extra swath going across the middle of the room.
Right.
It's recommended, it's an option, but it's not essential in either case.
That's right.
Okay.
It's an added benefit. In a bigger room, I would do it, and it does recommend on the box in larger rooms to go ahead and put a band down the center of a bigger size room
Okay.
at 10-foot increments.
Okay.
Yep.